Finding a job and becoming self-sufficient are often the biggest challenges facing young autistic adults. And now Northwestern researchers have developed a new tool for helping them do just that. The computer-based program is called Molly. And joining us from London to tell us more about it is WSJ reporter Shirley Wang. Hi, Shirley. Thanks so much for being with us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Shirley, we all know how difficult the job hunting process can be under the best of circumstances. Autistic youth obviously face added challenges. What exactly is Molly and how does it help them?
Molly is a virtual reality job coach. She was actually developed by a company called Simmersion for training FBI agents to interrogate witnesses. But now the technology is being used to try to help individuals with autism practice what it would be like to go on job interviews where the job interviewer asks a lot of questions, some of which may be difficult for them to answer.
And has it been very effective?
Well, there's a recent study that was just published earlier this month that suggests, it was a small study of just 26 people, but it does show that those who had the program compared to people who didn't get the program did report better self-confidence after completing the program, and also some better job performance, some interview performance skills. So it does suggest that there's some benefit. The next question is whether it will actually translate into getting jobs, and preliminary analysis of the data suggests the answer is yes.
Well, that is certainly very, very encouraging, because right now, what is the fate of most young people on the autism spectrum once they reach adulthood?
Well, unemployment or underemployment is very common, unfortunately. There have been studies to show that upwards of half of individuals with autism don't have employment when they become adults. And this can really have an impact in terms of the ability to be independent, but also just to feel good about oneself and to feel like they're contributing to society. So this is a huge issue.
Absolutely. And so much of the research we've been hearing about has been focused on children, diagnosing them and early intervention. Has there been less focus on adults, and is that changing?
I think experts would say it's been relatively more focused, especially in recent years, on diagnosis of children and early intervention, because the idea is if you can intervene earlier, you can help with symptoms and maybe long-term potential. But more and more people are focusing on what happens to these kids as they get older, and what are the issues facing them as adults. So I think that's an issue that will become more prominent, especially as the rates of diagnosis continue to increase. There was a CDC report earlier a few weeks ago that suggests that 1 in 68 kids now is being diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. So these numbers are on the rise, and so what's going to happen to these children over the lifespan should be a question that will be more and more important.
Absolutely astounding numbers. And Shirley, what advice do doctors have for parents of autistic kids to prepare them for employment and the job-seeking process?
Well, I'm sure there's lots of different advice, but one piece of advice comes from some people at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and they say basically it's so important to have a kind of job or a competitive and volunteering position that's really helpful and feels like you're really adding something to society, that they say that parents should be creative. They should try to help their kids get whatever kinds of jobs they can, and putting off trying to find a job by going through this very long, intensive job training process, that may or may not be the right answer. They say what you try to do is get out there, network, and help your children find whatever kind of job that might be satisfying for them as soon as possible.
Shirley Wang, thank you so much for that.